today I was down $4,000 within the first 4 minutes of market open, but I was able to recover and end the day with small green day. In this video, I will be showing you guys how to be in control of the situation and be mindful of your emotions when you face a big loss right at the market open. I will be showing you guys the trade I took right at the open that put me down $4,000 for the day. Then I will be showing you guys the trade I took again on the same stock that put me green for the day. The trades I took today were from the daily game plan that I post on our Discord group. If you guys want to be part of our Discord group, the link will be in the description box below. The first trade and my second trade that I took for the day were on Shop. If you look at the bigger picture on Shop, Shop was holding this daily trend line before the earnings. After the earnings, it broke out of this trend line. It pulled back to this trend line again, and then on last week, Friday, it had a crazy push towards the upside with increase in volume. It also broke the previous all-time high on Friday. If you look at the intraday chart, the 5-minute chart, Shop was holding 1650 level on Friday, so I was watching for a pullback entry. If Shop pulls back to 1650 and it breaks 1655 or 1660, I would like to catch the break towards the upside for the break of yesterday high and to catch the $1,700 level, which is a very good psychological resistance on Shop because it's at all-time high. This is the recording of my trade on Shop. Within the first 1 minute, we saw this huge bullish wick on Shop, and the R wall is also 250%. At the break of 1650 towards the upside, this was the pre-market low. I was liking it for the hold of pre-market low. I entered 10 contracts. I placed mid-price order, but you guys can see the difference between the bid and ask was very huge. Bid was at 24 and the ask was at 28. That's why I got filled at 26.20. I'm trading 1700 calls and same week expiry contracts. My stop loss on this trade is the break and hold of 1645 towards the downside. I held this trade for a few minutes because you guys can see that it never closed under 1645 right here. We saw a bullish wick again, then it was holding above the VWAP, but on this candle, when it broke 1645 towards the downside, I covered my whole position at a loss of around $4,000. My fill price was 22.39. That's why I always say, if you guys saw my previous video, trading the market open and especially a stock like Shop, it's like a two-way sword. You can make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot of money. So you should be willing to accept the risk. On this trade, I lost $4,000 within the first 4 minutes of market open. And this is now my second trade on Shop. I exited right here on this candle at the break of 1645 towards the downside because it broke the pre-market low and wasn't holding 1645. It dropped to around 1632, found some support, had a push towards the upside. At the break of 1650 again, I was still liking it because this might make an opening range breakout. So if you look at the 5 minutes, it's making this opening range. If it breaks out of this opening range, 1655 towards the upside, we might see the break of pre-market high and the break of all-time high. That's why I got filled 10 contracts at a fill price of 23.40. I'm trading same 1700 calls, same week expiry contracts. On this trade, on this candle, I was slightly in the money. I was up around $1,000 on this trade, but I was expecting a push above the high of the day and a break of high of the day for a continuation towards 1660 level. That's why I held on to my position. But eventually I was looking at the market internals. SPY and QQQ were a bit selling off during this time. That's why I will cover this position with a very small profit. So right here, I covered my position, my 10 contracts at a fill price of 24.00, overall making around $600 on this trade. I just skipped this recording by a few minutes to show you guys an example. My last trade, I entered right here and exited on this candle with a small profit. I know myself, if I would have held this trade, I would have exited maybe at 1645 or maybe at 1640. That would have been a big losing trade. I would have lost maybe $3,000-4,000 on that trade as well because I was holding 10 contracts. And this is what I was talking about earlier in the video, that you have to be in control of the situation. I knew that I am red for the day, so obviously that's gonna mess up with your emotions, but you can't let your emotions dictate your entries and exits. Emotions are normal. As a human, you will have emotions. You can't remove the emotions from your trading. You just have to be mindful of your emotions and not act on those emotions. And that's the difference between a consistent trader and an inconsistent trader. So in short, that means that every trade is a new trade. Take it as a new trade, that trade is not influenced by your previous trade. It's not influenced by your PNL. That trade doesn't care about if you're red or green for the day. I was red for the day, but if I would have held this trade, I would have gone into a deeper hole. That's why the market doesn't care about your emotions. The market doesn't care about your entries and exits. The market is just doing what it's supposed to do. I was able to read the price action. I was looking at the market internals that SPY and QQQ are selling off towards the downside. That's why I exited my position with a small profit, and I'm proud of controlling my emotions and getting out with a small profit. Otherwise, this would have been a big loser for the day. After my trades on Shop, I took another quick trade on Tesla for the break of $1,000 level towards the downside. That was a small winning trade. I made around $1,500 on that trade. But then I entered Shop again here, right here at the break of high of the day. I got filled 10 contracts at a fill price of 26.56. But on this red candle, it kind of faked me out. I exited with a small profit, maybe $100 profit on that trade. But that is again because the market was selling off. QQQ was selling off, SPY was selling off. So I was not very confident with that trade. When I saw a huge momentum towards the upside at the break of 1658, I knew there's a big order at $1660 level. Just before the break of 1660, I got filled 5 contracts. So you guys can see I'm lowering my position sizing here. I'm not increasing my position sizing because I know I'm red for the day and the market internals are not aligning in my favor. So on this trade, I entered 5 contracts at a fill price of 29.40. I'm trading 1700 calls. Yes, I could have taken 10 contracts or 20 contracts, but again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, to be in control of the situation. I know that if I take big size after being red for the day and the market internals are not aligning in my favor, I might go in a deeper hole. So I have to be in control of the situation. The day you lose control in the stock market when you are day trading is the day you will blow up your account. That's why it's always recommended to stick to your max stop loss. My max stop loss on this day was around $5,000 because I am green for the month. I have good cushion for the month. So even if I lose $5,000, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. And I can still end the month with good green. You guys can see on the 1-minute chart that after my entry, Shop had a really good push towards the upside. My fill price was 29.40. The premiums are around $33 and $34 at the moment. So I'm clearly in the money, but I'm expecting the break of yesterday's high, which is the all-time high right here at 1675. And this is the previous day close. This bold dotted line is the previous day close. This dotted line is the yesterday's high. I started covering my position at the break of 1670 towards the upside because the bids were not holding above 1670. When I saw this, I covered 2 contracts at a fill price of 33.20, just locking in some profits because if this rejects from here, I don't like converting my green trade into a red trade. I always like paying myself along the way. I always like taking partials, but I can hold a bit of my partials for a bigger move towards the upside. I'm going to pause this recording right here and explain something because it's very important to know. I know the price action of Shop. I have been trading Shop for the past 2 years. I trade it on and off when it starts moving. So I know when Shop gets the momentum, it really gives a pullback entry. And that is the reason on my first 2 trades on Shop, I try to get filled before the break of 1655 because when Shop starts moving, it doesn't give you pullback entry. That's the personality of this stock. I entered right here and you guys can see straight 4 green candles in a row. It has made $20 move in my favor without giving any consolidation, no pullbacks, and that is the personality of this stock. And that is the same reason I was trying to get filled before the break. I was holding 2 contracts after taking 3 of my partials. I exited 1 contract at the break of 1680 at a fill price of 35.24. I exited my last contract at the break of 1685 towards the upside at a fill price of 40.00. In total, on this trade, I made $2,700 by just taking 5 contracts, which is an awesome trade. After my last trade on Shop, I took another trade on Amazon that was a loser, but unfortunately, I was up around $1,300 for the day. I lost around $400-500 on Amazon, overall ending the day with $700 in the green, which is still a really good day because keeping in mind that I was down $4,000 right at the open. So it's all about managing your risk, sticking to your max stop loss. I was green for the month. My max stop loss was $5,000. I was down $4,000, so I sized down and I was able to grab a few opportunities from the market, ending the day with small green, which is not bad and a really good day in my opinion. And the amazing part is that this all was done within the first 35 minutes of market open. My first entry on Shop was at 9:31 a.m. My last exit on Amazon was at 10:05 a.m. That's why day trading is very, very difficult. You can go from being down $4,000 right at the open to being up $700 all within the first 30-35 minutes of market open. So it can be an emotional roller coaster when you are trading the open. That's it, guys. Hopefully you liked this video, and this video gives you a few tips and tricks on how to come back from a big loss right at the open and how to deal with your emotions, because as humans, removing emotions is not possible. You have to be mindful of your emotions and not trade or maybe act on behalf of your emotions. The one recommendation I will give you is to always be in control of the situation. The time you feel like you are going out of control, maybe you are taking stupid trades, you are blowing past your max stop loss, maybe you are chasing a stock, or maybe you are sizing up after being big red for the day, is the day to call it off or maybe lower your position sizing. Because the time you lose control of the situation is the time you can blow up your account as well. It just takes one bad trade to blow up your account. So just be mindful of that and trade responsibly. If you guys have any questions, post a comment down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me there, because I post a lot of day trading content on Instagram as well. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.